What's going on, guys? We are back with another video, and today is JUJUTSU Kaisen 3 Modulo. Let's get to it. Chapter starts off with the year 2086, 30,000 meters above Earth, specifically above Nevada. We meet extraterrestrial life forms identified as Sumerians, accompanied by a mothership known as the Nox, carrying nearly 50,000 aliens/sorcerers. Back on what I assume is their primary ship, we meet 3 aliens having a discussion regarding diplomatic missions and which countries handle such missions. We then get a fire double-page cover spread of our new group of protagonists, with these being the grandchildren of Yuta and Maki, and the aliens saying that it appears there are people in Japan who have powers similar to ours, and this planet, they are called sorcerers. Oh my god, we cooking. As the chapter continues, we get a brief flashback of a much older Yuta and his granddaughter Yuka. During this flashback, we see Yuta giving his granddaughter his most prized possession, the ring that contains the cursed spirit of Rika, before sadly passing away 4 years later. During this time, Yuka's parents force her to give the ring to her older brother, as he's the next head of the clan and the strongest amongst the two. After 6 years go by, we see both of our heroes are all grown up and investigating the kidnapping of Japanese citizens. Remember, prior to the culling game starting, Kenjaku informed the entire world of the existence of sorcerers and how valuable cursed energy is, which in turn put a huge target on Japan and its citizens, as the prices for human trafficked sorcerers skyrocketed. Okay, now let's get back on topic. It's at this point, Yuka and Tsurugi meet Inspector Maru, who looks and acts just like Yuji. Tsurugi isn't feeling Maru's incompetence, and Yuka is following suit, with both of them informing Maru on what a cursed user is and how sorcerers are only born in Japan, like I previously stated. But unknown to Yuka and Tsurugi, Maru isn't from Earth, so naturally he would not know that much about sorcerers and how things work here. As the chapter continues, we see Yuka and Tsurugi try to ditch Maru, seeing him as extra luggage, but Yuka later on has a change of heart and comes back for Maru. And the men burn bridges, she buys him takoyaki, which is incredible, might I add. As the two have a little chat about siblings, Maru tells her to cheer up and to complete the mission together so that the Gojo clan can see she deserves her ring back. We then learn that Maru can't really help with the mission because he isn't allowed to use cursed energy on Earth. But the two just casually brush it aside and continue their investigation into the missing kids. But for some odd reason, they can't find anything. So Yuka, being the genius that she is, asks Maru, what direction do you want to turn at the end of this road? He says right. She then asks the same question 2 more times, with Maru's response being left and straight. We then find out the road they are traveling on has a barrier technique on it. An activation for said technique is anyone who follows the path in that specific order: right, left, straight, right, left. At this point, Maru tells Yuka he has a brother too, a younger twin, and they don't get along at all. And at this point, his brother views him as extremely clumsy and that he doesn't want Yuka to end up in the same pain as him, so he wanted both her and her brother to settle the ring situation. Yuka completely blows him off and then proceeds to lock down the area so no one else can be abducted using very simple fucking police tape. Like, I really feel like we can see how this is going to play out. As the chapter continues, we see a little boy run under the damn tape that Yuka just put up straight into the hands of a cursed spirit, which sucks him up instantly. Pause. At this point, Tsurugi and Maru both try to go after the boy, but the cursed spirit only took Tsurugi, because the barrier technique is repelling anyone with too much cursed energy, basically keep the sorcerers from entering. Maru goes on to say, but Tsurugi is a sorcerer too, why didn't the barrier take him? And Yuka says her brother is a special case, a sorcerer without cursed energy. And at this point, Yuka basically says, fuck her brother, he'll be alright. But Maru convinces her to go, because if her brother gets killed, she's gonna regret it for the rest of her life. We then transition to Tsurugi, who is being restrained by the kidnapper's curse technique and having a little conversation. Tsurugi goes on to say it was a dumb idea putting the barrier up by the Jujutsu High. That's literally their territory, and he was bound to be found sooner or later. The kidnapper goes on to say he's quitting human trafficking since aliens have arrived on Earth. Obviously, Tsurugi does not believe him. The kidnapper goes on to say the extraterrestrial invasion is declared as a special grade incident on par with the attack by Ryoma Sukuna 68 years ago. Ever since the Kyoto Paranormal Security Treaty was enacted, all diplomacy with the aliens have been left entirely up to Japan, but some believe the aliens plan to start a war and invade Earth. Ooh, that's fire. Let's continue. We also learned that the sorcerers in Japan have become extremely weak over the last 68 years, and the value of Japanese citizens will plummet, so with no way to make money, the kidnapper has to call it quits. But before he does, he has one final sale to make, and it's Tsurugi. We then see all the kidnapped children wrapped up in plastic bags and ready to be sold like they are cattle. The kidnapper then begins beating on Tsurugi, telling him no matter how much he screams, no one is coming to save him. But before he can finish his sentence, Maru and Yuka appear with Tsurugi's katana in hand. We then learn that Maru used a drop of Yuka's blood to activate his curse technique, which seeks balance and finds the person who is equal or an equal match to Yuka. Oh my god, that's fire. Okay, let's get back to the juicy bits. But instead of fighting the kidnappers, Yuka attacks Rugi and proceeds to get her shit folded, and then redirects her energy towards the kidnapper. Guys, you gotta really see this shit to believe it. You gotta see this shit to believe it. As the chapter continues, we see Rugi and Yuka fighting against the kidnapper who has the ability to teleport apparently, which makes it harder for Yuka to keep up with. But at this point, Rugi is over the bullshit and pulls out his special grade tool, Honoyagi. The sparks generated from the scabbard and the guard are infused into the blade. He then releases new shadow style, Bato's sword drawing. We also learn that the sword has a fire trait attached, which starts burning the talisman forming the barrier. And Yuka adds the finishing blow with biting twist. And in case y'all wondering, yes, they in fact did save the kids, guys. We then get a small flashback for Rugi explaining to us that he spent all his time with Maki. Maki goes on to say he's a lot like her because he gets stronger through loss, so he has to be careful, and that he doesn't need the ring that was given to Yuka because he was already strong. We then find out that he really didn't want the ring and it was forced upon him. As the flashback comes to an end, we see the kidnapper trying to enact his final move by teleporting all the kids away before anyone can react. But before he can, Maru uses his third eye that was covered by a bandage this whole time to knock the kidnapper out cold. Oh my god. Guys, this Sukuna / Yuji lookalike, like Maru, I really feel like he is going to have some kind of a bag on him. Like, no bullshit. He's going to have a bag on him. Maki and Yuta's grandchildren? Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, bro. Like, I'm just baffled. Like, he has heavenly restriction with 2 special grade curse tools on him, and she really out here moving like Neji, just throwing hands and probably hitting chakra points. So this is just incredible to me right now. I'm glad that we getting a new Jujutsu Kaisen. Guys, that has been Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo chapter fucking 1. Now this is a 3-volume series, so I think at best we're gonna only get 75 to 80 chapters of this. But to be honest with you, I am all here for it. I am all here for it. I love it. Like, comment, subscribe, be fucking dynamic, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace.